I was just doing the mix in from the previous reading, and these were the cards that came out. Whoopsie. It's probably not the best. In case you're new, these are cards that I made. So we've got pho and cockroach. So someone is sick. They just won't go away. They're probably not feeling well. They keep trying to send people over with the Red Rover, playing Russian roulette until things settle down. We've got smear. They're just trying to mess up someone's money with the dollar bills. By fishing, by throwing a line. They're trying to mess up somebody's money by throwing a line. Hope everyone had a good day today. Let's see what comes out this time. Okay. Back of the deck we have, with the overall energy, we've got cocoon. The transformation is taking place. Someone's taken that step. I don't know what step it is up when you're already in a cocoon, because first you got to crawl up the tree, and then you've got to establish yourself into a cocoon, and then you're in a cocoon, right? So someone could have isolated themselves into this cocoon. They're in a state of change, transformation. Middle of the deck, we have a tiara. Someone of royalty, respect, maybe a beauty queen. Someone could be living a fairy tale. Oh, it's a haunted fairy tale. Someone's haunted. Got a haunted house by the gesture. Whatever this distraction is. Someone's hoping to distract somebody. Someone's getting paid to distract somebody. Maybe the person who was paid to distract or entertain this queen is now being haunted by their choice to do so. I don't know why all of a sudden I got super parched. Saith. Saying something with authority. Every time I hear the word saith, I hear saith the Lord, which right now would be God's promise. What he says goes. It doesn't matter what anyone else does. The Most High always gets the last word. Always. In every situation. Front of the deck, we've got assumptions. A carriage. Carriage is about dreams. There's no horse here. This one's stuck in the sand. It's not going anywhere without a horse, or a person, or reins. Got paint, adding some color, providing coverage. Update, a layer of protection. Could be bored watching paint dry. Assuming someone's protected, because carriage could also be somebody's body. There's an assumption there. The assumption, saith the Lord, is that this person is protected. Their carriage is protected because they're an innocent one, the doll. Got a decision. Someone made an innocent decision or a naive decision. Dodgeball. Dodging something. I just recently painted that one. I liked how it turned out. If you ever played dodgeball, it's somebody throws the ball and you have to not get hit by the ball. And then we've got someone's lucky. Maybe they're lucky that they dodged it by whatever decision they made unknowingly. Maybe they made the decision not to be played with, and instead they turned to their hobby and started painting. Got a little bug over there. Dot, dot, dot. Awkward silence. That could be part of why this assumption happened. 2 cards. The 10 and the cactus. Learning a lesson and starting a new cycle. The cactus, it's dry. A sticky situation. A prickly situation. Maybe that's the lesson they learned. Maybe they're realizing that this awkward silence caused them to be in a prickly situation. We've got the highway. It's my way or the highway. Maybe even going on a road trip. Persephone. Someone took a trip and decided to marry someone who didn't realize that they were getting married. Persephone is literally someone who was taken by the underworld, and she was married off to the leader of the underworld. She didn't want to be there, but there she was. Some kind of veil there, and it would go with the tiara, and it's haunted. So she could actually be married to this gesture. Whoever it was that was hired, or whoever hired the gesture, she could be married to that person unknowingly. No say in the matter. May not even know that she is a spiritual spouse. She's the queen of the underworld. Maybe she doesn't even know she's the queen of the underworld. Married in spirit. It wasn't her decision. We've got someone who is a donkey. Someone very stubborn in their choices. Someone being an ASS by making that kind of decision to fraudulently marry somebody because it was like it's either my way or the highway. And that's the prickly situation that they got themselves in. They couldn't manage to make this person actually be with them. We've got a fire hydrant. Useful in the right situations, but very, very wasteful if it's knocked over. And learning from the example in Los Angeles when they had no water in the hydrants. This hydrant is pretty useless, right? I mean, what's it there for? Decoration? Perhaps that's what they treated this person like, was decoration. Maybe they put this person up on a shelf and only took her down or took her out when, or he, when they wanted something to do. We have a retort here. I'm rubber, you're glue. What you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. That would be a retort. Someone who's making something kind of sarcastic, some sarcastic, witty insult or remark, a comeback. Usually it's childish behavior. Being clever or sarcastic, used to protect oneself or counter an attack. So some kind of emotional attack, some kind of childish behavior. Jerky, someone was being a jerk. They were doing this just to tide themselves over for whatever reason. Rose-colored glasses, they had high hopes for this whole situation. They thought it was really going to work out. We have create and sprung. They created a situation for themselves that really kind of put themselves out there. They took a huge leap before it was even ready. They really thought this was going to work out. They were so overwhelmed by it all. What's the divide about? A rescue mission. So the story's out regarding if it was a rescue mission or not. Maybe they were trying to say that they were doing a rescue mission. This was all for the betterment of whoever was involved. Maybe they're trying to save the whole situation. Maybe someone thinks that someone has actually just sprung or lost their spring, or they were actually sprung on this individual. Mindset. What was their mindset? What kind of strategy did they have in this case? Was everyone even playing the same game or on the same board? Did this person even need saving? It was a whole show, folks. It was a show. Now someone needs to reflect on whatever it was that was going on. Bumper sticker. Something very clear. Something is being said outright for the whole world to see. All the passerbys can see the reflection of their actions. Everyone involved is having to take a look at themselves. Like, that's on there forever. What they did is forever. Fireworks. It was an expensive display for sure. And planned. Squirrely behavior. Gathering resources. They wanted it all for themselves. But they've lost something now in the midst of it. They lost their family. Has to do with the hexagon, the Star of David. They lost their spiritual protection. Someone could be 61. Born in 61. Perhaps someone is listening. Or or was able to hear exactly what was going on. Maybe someone is spiritually listening. I've had people walk up to me and say things to me like I literally have just been thinking. So it's like, did they hear what I said without me saying it? Or are they eavesdropping on my thoughts? Either are possible. Now that I'm learning that people have these different kinds of gifts that I didn't know even existed at one point. I thought it was all make-believe. But I've had people answer questions I never asked, but I was thinking. I've had people make suggestions to things that I was already thinking about needed to be done. I've had ideas about other channels that people have walked up, strangers, and made mention in conversation about it. So that's interesting. It's like you never want to this could also be a support. I personally don't ever make a big deal of potential. It's like I don't believe it until I see it. It's like anything that happens, kind of like what I was just talking about, is kind of more of a oh, that's interesting than I'm gifted. Because from what I understand, people can actually, when I was saying, push thoughts into your mind. And it all just seems so over my head, you know what I mean? It's just hard to fathom. Pros and cons of that kind of gift, I'm sure. I mean, if you've got integrity, of course, then there's nothing to worry about. But for those who don't and just want to use it to manipulate, like my way or the highway, that would be problematic. I guess this is the new row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pros and cons is the new row. We've got incense. Maybe someone needs to light some incense. There's all kinds out there. Send a spiritual prayer. We're picking something. Picking 11. Picking stability, picking intuition, heightened awareness, the connection between physical and spiritual worlds, awakening, divine guidance, a call to a higher purpose, transition, elevation, synchronicities, paying attention to thoughts. Well, that brings it all together, doesn't it? Someone's been picked to go through this transformation. This energy work. The hand of God. Healing hands. Moving energy, shield. We've got the Reaper. The Grim Reaper. Someone has a connection to that? The Reaper journey. Perhaps someone's been picked for this journey. Maybe somebody had, we were talking about before, that they lost their spiritual gifts. And maybe this was their gift and now they've lost it. Or maybe they're reflecting on themselves because of this supposed, I don't know. We've got assumptions about journey. We have journey and assumptions. People make assumptions on the journey all the time. We really don't know what it's about, do we? That's why they say ignorance is bliss, because if you don't have any kind of idea or concept of it, then you don't have to even think about it. You just kind of do your own thing. And then we've got a pros and cons list with our lucky card. And then of course here in the middle we've got the divide. Everything that is going on around is surrounding this divide. So maybe there's a divide in what to think about this. A divide in what it means. Maybe it's dividing the positive and negative of things. Rose-colored glasses in the mission. Creating. Someone moved too fast. Someone created something too soon. Someone made a move too soon to try to create this rescue mission about someone. They went too fast. And it was obvious that it was just some kind of production. It was written all over someone's face. Join, multiple, noise, money, trans upside down, money transactions, there's no more transactions. Someone's making noise about the multiple transactions that had happened, but they're not happening anymore. Mature, someone's immature. Someone made a decision immaturely. Scorpio in their south node. Scorpio came out twice today. Pollution. Awakening, they're not awakened at all. They're just causing problems, drama, and pollution. First, middle, or last. Starts with an I, or a word that starts with I, or it could be someone who only thinks about themselves. It's not at its pinnacle yet. Taurus couldn't be involved. Could go, I mean, Taurus also could be stubborn, or some of the good qualities about Taurus is that they're hard workers. They're, in some cases, overachievers, smart, capable, strong. They're, I'd like to say integrity-based. They have a lot of control. Remember when? Not that. We want this. Ding, 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 ding. As you know, I'm usually on the road about 60 hours 75 hours a week. Got compromise, gossip upside down, time, target, falconry, drama upside down, using birds in war. So again, with what I was talking about earlier, when I've learned so many things that are possible now that I didn't know just like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Apparently people can use, they've used birds in wars to help fight wars. So in this case, this whole production that they were using probably birds in order to be monitoring spirits. Apparently when people can push thoughts, or they can eavesdrop on your thoughts, they can also do that to animals. It sounds really out there, but apparently it's a thing. These are, what do they call them when they're telepathic, maybe? I'm not sure. The gossip is over. Compromising is over. Time is up. Someone's writing a song about it. Want to hear it? Then we've got choice here, which is the same as the decision card. You've got a choice in all of this. You can either choose to accept your gifts, or you can choose not to have your gifts. For those people who have psychic abilities, from what I understand, a lot of them say that they can't turn it off. I don't know how that works because I'm not psychic. But definitely, once the video posts, if you have any information on that stuff, if psychics can turn their gifts off, or decide when to not have to be psychic, can you put it in the comment section after the video post? With that being said, I am going to get some rest. I hope you do as well. I hope you have a great day if you're seeing this at that kind of time frame. And thanks for being here. Take care, and as always, make it a great day. There's always something good in every day. Hello to everyone who said hello. Thank you so much for being here and for commenting. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Take care. And thank you for all the likes.